These are supposed to be the funniest, but actually the strangest thing that happened during Christmas was a couple of years ago. It was my wife and I's first Christmas together alone, so we didn't want to spend it alone by ourselves in our new apartment, so we decided to spend it with the Golicks, who live all the way across town on the east side. So, of course, that was the year of the extreme blizzard. You're not supposed to be driving. There's 4 foot of snow on the ground. It's 52 below wind chill, that kind of thing. We managed to drive out, and since we weren't going to be back, we took our dog and our cat. We take our dog and our cat to the Golicks. The dog has several mistakes in the Golicks' new house. The cat climbs up the rice wallpaper to the ceiling and brings the wallpaper down with him. So after that, it got better because we did get presents that brightened it up. But that was the most memorable, if not the funniest Christmas.
Busy sidewalks, just in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you'll hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, 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 soon it will be Christmas Day.
I remember a Christmas back when I was in about 2nd grade. My family, we lived in a house that didn't have a fireplace, and evidently my parents had locked the front door, so Santa Claus, he couldn't get in. And I remember waking up, I don't know what time it was, but it was very late, and there was a little knock on the window, and it was Santa Claus. I opened up the window and let him in. Of course, he wouldn't let me go downstairs with him because then I'd see all the presents, so he made me stay outside on the roof in my pajamas. It was freezing cold, snowing, of course. While Santa delivered the presents, I talked to Rudolph and the rest of the reindeer, and what a great experience. Santa came back, gave me a little gift for keeping the reindeer on the roof, got back in his sleigh, and disappeared into the night. Well, I could hardly contain myself, and it was a joyous experience to describe to the family, as you can well imagine, until my father took me up onto the roof where the reindeer had landed, and we had to clean up reindeer mess.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as he shouted out with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
I remember when I was little, my brother and I would always go downstairs before anyone else would awaken and get all our toys and whatnot, and we thought we was very intelligent at the time. So what we would do is all the other kids that my mom and father had gotten for presents, we would take their gifts and rewrap it and change it, and I would always come out with the type of gift that I wanted.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Funniest thing that happened to me at Christmas was my son wanted to get a Mickey Mouse talking phone, and he had at least 25 toys under the tree, and he ended up crying the whole day because he didn't get a Mickey Mouse talking phone.
House out reindeer calls, out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney lots of toys, all for the good little girls and boys. Ho, 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 who would know? Ho, 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 who would know? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick.
One of my most fond memories of Christmas is how the Brennan family would come down the steps awaiting anxiously what Santa brought us for Christmas. I come from a big family. I'm second of six, and we'd line up youngest to oldest, and my father would lead us down, my mother would trail, and he would come in with a flashlight and shine it on the ceiling, saying Santa Claus didn't come yet, but we know he did, and just being together was the main thing.
One of the funnier things that happened at Christmas was when I was about 10 years old. My father got us some of those sand-filled plastic weights, and we took them out in the garage, and we were lifting weights and thinking we were big time. And my youngest brother was about 5 at the time, and he didn't participate. So we went back in the house, and we were playing around with our other toys, and we were hearing this squealing noise outside in the garage. This little hip, hip, hip. So we went out there and looked around, and sure enough, my little brother was down there, and he had the weights pinning him on the chest. And he was in deep trouble, needless to say. So we had a good laugh about it. We went in and told my mother and father to come out and look at this, because we thought it was kind of funny. And we left him there for a while. He didn't like that too much, but it worked out all right. He's alive and well still. Isn't that funny?
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in one horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ha! Bells about to ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon this lady bride was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lame, misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifting bank and we got upset. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh.
One of the special times at Christmas was just the fact that our family was all together and with Mom's cooking, and you know, the family was together as a whole on Christmas. And I remember one of the fondest things, one of the fondest memories of Christmas was when my dad would take myself and my brothers into the family room and sit us down and read us the story. It was the night before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, and hoped that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, with visions of sugar plums danced in their heads.
Mom in her kerchief and me in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what's the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, threw open the sash.
Then what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew right away that it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet and Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. So up to the housetops the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too.
And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof all the clattering noise of each galloping hoof, all bundled in fur from his head to his foot. His clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. I drew in my head and was turning round, when down the chimney he came with a bound.
A bag full of toys he had flung on his back. He looked just like a little peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled so gay. His dimples, how merry were they. His cheeks were like roses when kissed by the sun. His nose like a cherry, all wrinkled with fun.
His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a little old pipe was tight in his teeth, and the smoke went around and around his head like a wreath. Oh, he was so jolly and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He gave me a wink of his eye and a twist of his head, a smile and a chuckle. All the while I knew I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work. He filled all the stockings and turned with a jerk.
And laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him explain, ere as he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
From when I can remember, as small as I was, 3 to about 18 before I went to college, was spending Christmas Eve at my grandmother's. Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
He would come in with a flashlight and shine it on the ceiling, saying Santa Claus didn't come yet, but we know he did.
I jump out of bed and I scurry over and lift up the window, and snow blows in, and ho, 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 Santa Claus comes through the window.
I had an ability to sneak one of the presents back into the bedroom and undo the tape, unwrap the present, check it out, and wrap it back up, make it look like nobody ever touched it.
The most special thing every Christmas is to be downstairs with my video camera and watching my kids coming down the steps, hollering and screaming, "Oh, Daddy, Santa Claus came, Santa Claus came."
My fondest memory of Christmas is being with a family of 5 children, and enjoying the excitement of the holidays.
I asked my little boy what did he want Santa Claus to bring him, either a brother or a little puppy. And he looked at me and he goes, "I want a little puppy."
A couple of years ago when I was back in Alabama and with our family, getting the opportunity to see all the joy that my nieces and nephews had on their face.
Last year, my little girl, just about a year old, she went down there and we got down there Christmas morning and she tried to open up every present under the tree. She opened up every present under the tree.
I remember a few years ago I was putting the toys together the night before Christmas, but I got a little carried away. And about 6 o'clock in the morning, I was in the den playing with my son's car, and he came in, and I just said,
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. So up to the house tops. House tops. We cool. Oh, these guys, he's making faces. I want him released.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, and hoped that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snuggled in their bed.
More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, Uncounted.
That's an end.
He sprang to his sleigh, his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But
And his droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a little old pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke went around and around his head like a wreath. Oh, he was so jolly and plump, the jolly old elf. And I laughed when I saw him. Oh, God, I can't help.
His eyes, how they twinkled so gay. His dimples, how merry were they. His cheeks were like roses when kissed by the sun. His nose was like a cherry, all wrinkled with fun. His droll little mouth, his droll little mouth. Oh, God.
Well, when I look back over my most funniest Christmases, I can think when I was living in Alabama where we didn't have snow, we used to always get sleds. Then I had the opportunity to come to Cleveland where we had snow and I got a bicycle.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.